Oh, Peter Finley's joining us.
Hey, Jan. Hi, Ryan.
Hi.
Hi, Peter. How are you, buddy?
Good, thanks. How are you guys?
Doing well.
Good. Excellent.
Yeah. You been good?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've been quite good. Thanks,
Good.
Ryan. Yeah, we got some rain in Kamloops, which was nice on
Yeah,
Friday
yeah.
night. I think you might have got some in Canmore, Calgary.
We got rain. It was on my deck, it was slush. And in the mountains, we probably got 10 to 15 centimeters on the mountaintop. So it's pretty
Okay.
crazy.
Yeah, I was just in field on last Sunday, a week ago today, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, just in the field area.
Yep.
And yeah, beautiful, really nice. And then, but I saw that system coming in for Alberta and Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice that you got a little bit, and hopefully, hopefully the West Kootenays and everybody got a little bit as well, just to help it out there, because it's been pretty dry.
Totally.
All across the province. So, hopefully, we had our Golden Rush mountain bike stage, our single day race there in Golden on the Saturday, the first Saturday of June. And I don't think I've ever been on the trails in Golden with them that dry.
Well, Ryan,
it was
crazy.
Was
so hot. It was so hot that day, wasn't it? I mean, what was it in Golden? Was it 30, around 30, 33?
It was somewhere up in there. It was a warm day.
Yeah. Yeah. But to see them that dry in early June, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been fortunate so far, uncharacteristically, I'm going to say, for the Kamloops area, where it's, I can say that most of the cross-country riding trails haven't got dusty yet, which typically they can be by this time. So that's a good indication. We've had some decent rains in June and in May, so that's been a bit of a diversion from what often is the case here. So good, yeah.
Good.
And the Golden went well?
That's a Jen question. I didn't end up staying for the day.
Yeah.
I was there for the couple of days to help them mark the course and stuff, and then I didn't stay for race day.
Yeah,
Good.
it was windy and warm, but it went well.
Good. Nice.
Yeah.
Windy and warm. Yeah, you bet.
Well, we have a few people just trickling in, but maybe we can get started on a few things. If you guys aren't familiar with Teams, there's a chat function up at the top. So if you have any questions, you can definitely pop them in the chat there. We did a quick, people letting us know where they were calling in from, but I don't know, Dia, if you want to get started with a few things, or if you want me to get started, or what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many first timers we have on here, but we'll just do, like a quick little, schedule of what's going on. And then, Jen could talk about a few things. And then if there's any questions, we can go over questions for anybody that has any questions. But, just to get started, we're going to be in the West Kootenays again this year. So it's exciting to be back there. Some amazing trails. We're going to race it, you probably already all know this with the schedule, but, July 10th to the 15th, we're going to start in Caslow with registration in Front Street Park. So you're going to be right downtown Caslow for that registration from 2 to 5. And then we're going to have opening ceremonies in the same park. They have a nice stage there, and we'll do opening ceremonies there, give you a little brief outline of what to think about every day. We have some posts that will be going out over the next little bit with some updates about everything, just a few little general instructions and stuff like that, things to know about stages and everything like that. So we'll get those out to you, but we'll also talk about them every day. I'll do a little chat every night. Belle, we always have this little thing where I try to do it in one take, and Belle sits there and records me, and I try and do it in one take. So we were 5 for 6 last year. I messed up the last day, but that was after 5 days in 37-degree heat. So this year's stages, we're going to be, stage 1's going to be in Caslow. We were there last year. Fun trail. Every stage in the West Kootenays there's going to be a little bit of a challenge. West Kootenays are known for going up and going down. There's a lot of climbing. There's a lot of descending. Very fun trails. That's our goal, is to find something that's, challenging enough to have the front of the pack enjoy it, and not too challenging so the back of the pack doesn't enjoy their day. So we try to find a mix of everything for you guys out there. if you've never ridden with us before. But that's our main goal, is to try and make it so that it's enjoyable for everybody. So, day one, Caslo, we've been there before. We got that one nailed down. Day two, we're back in New Denver again. New Denver on the Butter Trails is it's a pretty fun day. It's old school, Rudy, downhill coming down there, but it's a pretty fun day. Day three, we've been in Roslyn before, but we haven't been there for a few years now. And day three, if you're doing the full pint, that's going to be a big day for you. You're going up the Seven Summits, which is one of the iconic trails there. So the fact that we get to race it is pretty cool. But you will be high in the Alpine for a good chunk of the day. But your views will be spectacular. It'll be an amazing day. Half pinters, we're not gonna take them up there because it's too remote and too long of a day to try and get you up there as well. So that's the other thing I guess I should point out is please make sure you go back to the website and check, because we have made some changes to the courses just based on everything, all the reconnaissance and everything that's happened over the last little bit. We've had to make some changes, some for the better, some for safety reasons, some for reasons because of dry weather and stuff like that. We've just had to take a trail out here or there. So always check back just to make sure. I would suggest waiting. You can download the GPX track if you want right now to put it on your Garmin or Suunto or whatever you use. But I would suggest, that last week before you come, just downloading them then, just in case there is a last minute change. I want to make sure that you guys have the most up-to-date map that we'll have loaded there. Bell has them all now, so they will be posted on our website. And then if there is any changes, we'll put out a post just to let you know. So just keep going back and checking. And then stage 4, stage 4, we're going to be in Roslyn again. That's also, 2 days in Roslyn. We're going to be racing on the South Trails, which we've used lots in the past, which are, fun old school trails again, can be amazing. Again, a little bit challenging depending on the conditions. If it is a little bit dry out there still, hopefully they got some of this rain. If it is a little bit dry out there, some of those trails can be a little slick in spots as well, just with how loose they can get. So you just have to watch out for that. Day 5 is we're going to a brand new venue. We've never been there before. One of our course ambassadors that some of you guys may have met in the past, Mike Hood, he's on the Bike Society there down in Selmo. And he talked to us last year about maybe trying to have a stage there. So we had a couple of our people go out there and they looked around at it and they've put together a stage for you. It's kind of going to be a unique stage. It's going to be the shortest stage of the week, which is nice coming off of some back-to-back long days in Roslyn, some harder days in Roslyn. So this will be a fun stage for everybody. There is a little bit of a challenge from an operational standpoint for us. And we'll go over that at a later date. I don't want to, give too much information overload here tonight. But if there is any questions, we can answer those and address those. That's not a problem. But Selmo should be a fun day in Selmo. Those are some pretty fun trails there. We're on some private land, so the land is taken care of. The trails are looked after by the Selmo Trail Society there. So we're really keen to get there and check them out and support them a little bit as well. And then we're going to have our finishing stages back at one of the typical ones that we do if we're out in the West Kootenays, and that's in Nelson at Morning Mountain. Beautiful trails. Again, like I've said, you're going to go up, you're going to do a little loop at the top, you're going to go down, and then if you're doing the full pint, we'll send you back up for one more downhill. But Morning Mountain is your atypical West Kootenay trail system. You climb to descend. So it's fun. The trails are well kept. They're really taken care of. They're nice and matted down, and hopefully that rain has made them a little bit tacky so they're not loose. These ones are, there's a little bit of shade in the bottom areas when you're on upper bottoms and those, so they don't get as dry and loose as some of the other ones that we're on. So, but Nelson should be a really fun stage, just to close out our week for 2025. And then we're going to have a nice, big, beautiful banquet at the Prestige on the Lake. We were there back in 2017. I forget the last time we actually did ST6 and finished in Nelson. So that was 2016, 17, 18. I can't keep track of all of them and all the stages anymore, but we're gonna go there for the banquet. We're gonna have a really nice dinner, and then we're trying to hook it up so that we can all go out to Torchlight and have a drink after together, and just celebrate you guys coming out and having a great week in the West Kootenays. So I'll turn it over to Jen now if she's got anything to add from her side, and she can chat a little bit.
Yeah, I will fill in a few Well, I guess they weren't blanks, but just give you guys some more info. Like, so by the way, I'm Jen. If you guys haven't met me, I'm the customer service manager with Trans Rockies. You're gonna see a whole, like, too much of me over the 6 days in the West Kootenays, and same with Dia, who was just speaking with you guys. And then you'll see Ryan Bell, obviously, as well. So the three of us are going to be around a lot. We also have a massive amount of crew volunteers and staff crew members that you guys are going to meet and get to know really well over the 6 days. Everybody is out there to make you guys have a good day and have a good time. And they're all amazing people. We invite a lot of the same crew back every year because they're just so awesome, and there's no way we could do these events without them. So you guys will meet them throughout the week as well. Just to kind of go a little bit further, what Dio was saying about the courses, when you guys signed up, there is a full pint and there is a half pint. I get this question a lot, so I just want to clarify. If you are signed up for all 6 days on the full pint and you're like, whoa, this is more than I wanted, can I change to the half pint? The answer is yes, you can. We can change you can email me right now at registration@Transrockies, and we can do that for you. Or if you want to come and start on the full pint and maybe halfway through or something's just not going your way and you need to switch, you can do that. I just want to let you guys know that if you do switch to the half pint, you won't be, if you do it in the middle of the week, just know that you won't be up for any podium prizing or any stage prizing. You would be listed as unclassified, because if you started in a full pint and you finish in a half pint, it's not really fair that we, grade you against everyone else. So just know that if you do that in the middle of the week, it's totally fine. We want you to have a good day out there and good week out there, but yeah, you won't qualify for any prizing. And then the alternative is there as well. If you signed up as the half pint and you're like, hey, my training's been going really well, I want to jump up to the full pint. Yeah, do it. Go for it. We love it. We just ask that you guys let us know, preferably the night before the stage, or last resort, the morning of the stage. So we're really flexible. We want you guys to enjoy all the stages and have the best week for you. And we don't want people to be riding outside their skill level. Like Dia was saying, lots of ups, lots of downs. So Corey, our Saskatchewan friend, those headwinds better be really strong for your uphill training. So if you guys need to switch, we can do that for you. So I will talk a little bit about, well, that was really the big one. The other thing is package pickup. I'll just mention that real quick and then we can go back. Or unless, do you have more about stages?
Yeah, I was just going to say on that point with what Jen was just saying, if you don't feel embarrassed or anything like that, like, there's a lot of factors that could, change a day and everything. Like last year, just for instance, if you have never ridden with us last year in the West Kootenays, every stage was about 37 degrees. So this is the reason why we have early starts. So 5 of the starts are at 7 a.m. and the Selmo stage is at 8 a.m. because that's our shortest stage. So giving you a little bit more time to have a later morning start. But this is the reason why we do early stages. But if you're ever having a moment, like you get done your race, everybody will have my phone number. You can text me. You can ask me about what the next stage is going to be like. You can put it in the chat just to get a feel of what the next stage is going to be like. If you're not really sure. So don't ever feel embarrassed. There's never a dumb question. There's never, talk about what you're feeling or just ask, it's better for you to feel confident and be out there for the next day than, to get yourself into a situation where you're completely exhausted. And for instance, up on 7 Summits, it's remote, like I said, and our only extraction is helicopter extraction from that point. So those are the kind of things, like if you're ever feeling anything, just come and talk to us. We're approachable, maybe outside of Bell, he's very secluded, but just kidding. Just if you ever just want to know what the next day is going to be like, just come and chat with us. We're more than happy to talk to you about it. Peter knows a lot of the trails there too. There'll be lots of other people there that know the trails. And you could chat with them, having a drink at Chillville after the stage is over, just about how your day is and what the next day is going to be. And then if you do want to make that change, just make sure you're letting Jen know. The other aspect with that is because the course is kind of run and then there's a split where the half pint goes one way and the full pint goes the other way. if you were ever to decide that you're in the middle of your half full pint stage and you want to cut it short and take the half pint route, if you do that, just make sure when you get to the finish line, you let the timing crew there know that this is what you've done. It's not a big deal. They'll just change you in the system, but we just need to know that you've changed so that we didn't all of a sudden we didn't see and you blew everybody out of the water by an hour and a half that day. So just one of the big things to think about while you're out there.
Or so that we're not looking for you on course on the full pint. If you cut out on the half pint, again, totally fine. But we need to know that so we're not searching for you out on the full pint distance either. So, and actually along with that, we have the reason why Dia and I are saying these things is because they've happened. They happen all the time. Like Dia said, don't be shy or don't feel embarrassed to switch. People do it all the time. That's why I'm telling you guys, because it happens all the time. And along with that too, we've also had people skip stages. So they've signed up for the entire 6 stage, like 6 days, not the 3 day, but the 6 day. And they're like, you know what? I just can't today for whatever reason. No problem. Just let us know. Just let us know in the morning or the night before. And again, so we're not looking for you out on course or wondering where you are. So, yes, we are very approachable and very friendly. There's actually, I recognize a lot of the names on the chat. A lot of you guys have been with us at events before. So again, like Peter and that can attest to how easygoing we are, and we want you guys to have the best day out there and the most success. So we'll do whatever we can do from our end to make that happen for you. Just quickly about
Jen, sorry, could I just mention something
of course.
on what you guys have just been saying, and Ryan and Jen and Ryan times two, I'll say it's tremendous and generous and accommodating to offer that service. Like, I think that's tremendous how you present that, where folks have multiple options depending on the day, and it could be hot. We could be in a hot spell again, similar to what you had in Golden this year, early June, typically early July down there. I mean, we could be in the early 30s or mid 30s or even later than that. So it's lovely to have that option, and knowing that it's not like you're foolish to ask the question or to make the switch, and just to be letting you know. So I really appreciate that you guys have that in your offering.
Thanks, Peter. Yeah, that's very kind of you to say. Yeah. Sorry, I know we're kind of jumping all over the place, but Peter just reminded me when he was talking about hot water or hot weather. There's water at the finish lines, drinkable water, but also there's lakes. You guys, we finish so close to a lake, like everywhere that we are. So I think except for Salmo, maybe, right?
Roslyn, there's, because we're high up, there's not really a lake there either, but yeah.
Otherwise, there's lakes.
Yeah.
Just quickly about package pickup, Dia mentioned it. Registration package pickup is July 9th in Caslow on Front Street Park. You guys are going to get your race plate number and your timing chip. I'm going to give you a timing chip that belongs to you for the whole week. Please don't lose it. Keep it on your bike. Put it on your handlebar, your top tube, your fork, not on your dropper post. Don't do it. People have done it and then they squish it. Don't do that. And then I'm going to steal it back from you at the end of the 6 days. If you are doing the ST3, the flex, you might not be starting on the first day. That's totally fine. We will have, if you're in town, if you're in Caslow, come pick up your package. If you are not in town, I am going to be driving a glorious white van with no windows on it for all week long. You will see me in these small communities with my little panel van. So I'm going to have the van at the start line every morning. It's our race office van. I will have your packages ready and waiting for you. So the morning of your first stage, you just come to the van. I'm going to be out there. We're out there early. We're out there at like, I don't know, I said 5:45 to 6:15 for you guys, for ST3 people. Unfortunately, a few people have already emailed me asking if they can pick it up in the afternoon. We're usually packed up and gone and moving along by then, so it's easiest in the morning of the day. I promise you guys will have enough time to put your race plate on and your timing chip on. We'll have it already packaged, ready for you to go. You just give me your name and I'll give you a bag and you're gone. It'll be really quick. Does Does anyone have any questions about those two things maybe before we go any further about, oh good, Jason's writing us a note in the chat. So you can write us a note in the chat or you can come off mute, whatever you'd like, but about package pickup and stages, if anyone has any questions about that stuff right now. I see Jason's typing.
Yeah, Jen.
Yeah.
May I ask a question on stage, let me think, 3 in Rossland?
Yeah.
I'm just, I haven't had a chance to look at, I know you just posted, I think you posted the courses as you see them today, and I will look at that. So if it's not an easy answer, but I think it is. So we go up Cedar Trail, we do a loop around where the biathlon trails are, and then we continue on Cedar Trail. We get up onto the Seven Summits. We're climbing to a high point on Seven Summits. How do we come back down into Red Resort? I'm just curious, just how we descend Red Mount, from somewhere in around Granite Mountain.
Yeah, so you're going to be coming off Granite Mountain, and we're gonna hit one of the access roads. And we're gonna have a couple of kilometers on an access road to get back onto Red Resort. The access road is going to be a little bit rough. I'm not going to lie to people. I'll tell you the truth. So it's one of those spots. There's only, talking to the people at Red when I was there, there's only a couple of the switchbacks at the top where, you can find a line. You just have to go off to the side, but just to use a little bit of caution. And then there's a trail that they're building that we're going to take. It's a green trail to come down the front of Red Mountain. The challenge for us this year is we had planned to go to Red Mountain, and then all of a sudden they decided to open a bike park there. So now they have a lot of trails that are bike park trails. So we've had to switch things around a little bit. So once we come down that access road, I can't remember the name of the trail right now. They did send me a GPX file of it. So what's on the, I'm just going to check while I'm talking to you here, Peter. What's on the website, I think, has been updated, and the map might not be updated, but we're updating and we're uploading the GPX tracks and the link we use CalTopo now for all of our files. So if you go back on this week, we will get those loaded for you, and it should have the accurate coming down from the top of Granite Mountain back onto the ski hill. Yeah, it's a new way to come down. Just trying to make the best of it with everything that's going on at Red Mountain now. They're building there a lot. They've decided to open a bike park to add some value to the resort. So that's changed a little bit. So we've come up with this solution, which I think will work well. It's also changed. So as you'll be able to see, the original was going to be our time descent. So if people don't know what that is, each day inside of your race, we have a section that's a short section of downhill, anywhere from like 1.5 kilometers to 2.5 K, maybe a little bit longer, which is a time descent. And that's a challenge inside the race. So that was originally going to be on the front side of Red Mountain, but now we've put it into the Larch Hill Trails, which is on that first loop before you get over to Seven Summits, so that everybody gets to hit it this year. So from what I've known, I haven't ridden that. I've ridden Cedar Trail and those, and they're beautiful. I just haven't ridden this downhill. But from what I've heard from everybody over there, the Monte Cola Trail is a really nice, fun trail. So that should be a fun downhill.
Good.
But yeah, that's how we'll get you back down. And
okay,
then, that's a good question. And then one of the big changes that day too is if you're doing the half pint, like I said, we're not going to take you up over into the Seven Summits. When you do the loop and you get back to Cedar Trail, you're going to go left and you're going to descend Cedar Trail back to Blackjack Ski Club where we started. Be a very fun descent to the finish. So.
And Ryan, just on that, yeah, it's a beautiful descent. It's just a friendly, gorgeous sight lines and burned, smooth as can be. It's just a lovely descent from the biathlon trails, as you mentioned. So that makes a real nice half pint.
Yeah.
We did have a question about parking.
Yeah. I was going into that after you were done your little spiel. So parking. So this year is not going to be as big a challenge. There is going to be a couple of days that are a challenge. But day 1 and day 2, pretty standard. You're going to be able to park somewhere in town, either in New Denver or Caslow for the start. If you're doing the half pint in Caslow, your start is going to be about think it's about 4 or 5 kilometers out of town at the Caslow Nordic Ski Trails up in they have a little, you'll turn off and you go up the road, and then there's a big meadow up there. And that's where we're going to have your start line and finish line for the Caslow half pint. For the full pinters, you're going to start right in Front Street Park. So you can be able to park everywhere downtown Caslow, or just bike over from your Airbnb or wherever. My big thing with everything with parking is just be respectful. Don't park in people's driveways. Don't park in their lawns. There is road parking in these places. So, we didn't have any problems. There was no complaints last year. I talked to the city of New Denver. We were there, not the city, I guess I should say the village of New Denver. And they had no complaints from any of the locals there last year. So everybody was great last year. So I'm assuming that you guys will all be amazing again this year. So Roslyn Day 3 parking. So if you're doing the full pint, you're going to park at Red Resort. They have a big parking lot over there, and you're just going to pedal over to the start at Blackjack Ski Club. Again, it's about a 3 or 4K easy pedal to the start. Nice little warm-up spin for you. If you're doing the half pint, you'll be able to park right at Blackjack Ski Club. So you'll be able to search that, and that's going to be your start and finish line right there. So we'll be able to get you into their big parking lot there. Day 4 is the challenging one. There's no parking at the start at all. So we start right in South Rossland. We've been there before, so it's worked before. So again, if you're in town and you're staying at a hotel, you'll be able to bike down to the start. If you're staying at an Airbnb or you're up at Red Mountain, you'll have to, find a spot in town and just park in a spot that has all day parking. There's lots available in Rossland, and then just bike down to the start line. You'll be able to see where it's at. The big challenge from Roslyn is, and we've been there before, and I hate to do it to you, it's getting back to your car from the finish. So we finished at the local golf club, the Redstone Resort Golf Club there. Beautiful little spot. They let us use the side of their parking lot. The trail comes right into the finish line there. They're going to have a barbecue set up for us, so you can get a burger. We're going to get you a beer there if you want a beer. But then you have to get yourself back up into town. So there's a bike path that gets you back up to the city streets and then can bike back into town. It's a shorter bike ride, and it's just a couple of K again, but it's the elevation. It's another about 200 meters of climbing. So you're looking, another 500 feet of climbing, 700 feet of climbing to get back into town, depending on where you park. But that's one of the more challenging ones. Selmo is, again, where we're starting is kind of out on the highway. So if you're doing the full pint, my suggestion is going to be to find a spot in Selmo to park. And then there's a road that runs adjacent to the highway, and we'll have it completely marked out with trail signage to get you out there. It's called Selmo Cemetery Road, and you'll head out that road, and it just runs along the highway. It just keeps you off the highway. You're more than welcome to bike the highway if you want, but this road will give you it's a gravel road, and it keeps you off the highway, and that will bring you all the way out to the start line right on Erie Pit Road. If you're doing the half pint, your start and finish is going to be on Erie Pit Road. There's a Centex gas station right across from where we're starting. There's the Selkirk Motel and Campground. And then on the other side of Highway 3, there's the Centex. And there's a bunch of parking there. Again, I'm just going to point it out to be respectful and make sure you're not parking in the wrong spot. There's a couple of logging truck businesses there. So they do have their big trucks coming and going throughout the day. So just make sure you're not parked in their way, because I don't want any, cars towed or any damage or anything like that. And then after the finish for the full pints, if you park in town, then it's a nice easy downhill to get back into town from the Selmo Ski Hill where we're finishing day 5. So that one's pretty, there's a little bike ride, but everybody likes to spin the legs out a little bit in the morning and spin them out a little bit at the end. So that's day 5. Day 6 in Nelson, we're going to start, if you're doing the full pint, you're going to start at the Blewett Elementary School. So if you were with us last year, we parked everybody up at the top, and we started you there, or we parked everybody along that access road, the Ski Hill Road. It was a little bit of a cluster, trying to get people turned around, and everybody's fighting for spots. So I found a different spot to start it this year. It'll spread us out a little bit as well. I'll see you'll get to climb up the ski hill and get out. The other negative from last year is we took you out of the start line and we put you on a I think it was probably about a 32-degree pitch, so it wasn't the friendliest start to the race, and a little bit of feedback, so we changed it up. So there's parking at the Blewett School, so I should be able to get everybody to fit in that Blewett School parking. You'll just have to pay attention to my parking people. So if you come and they're direct you, please just park where they tell you, so we can try to get everybody to fit in. I'm dealing with the ministry right now, so there's certain things they just don't want us parking on the side of the road. If we can help it, I'm sure we'll find a few spots. There is also a pullout just by the Ski Hill Road. that fits probably about 10 to 15 cars. So we can get a few people there as well. And then if you're doing the half pint in Nelson, there's a parking lot right above the main parking lot that we can probably fit, 10 to 20 cars up there as well. So the half pinters, you can come up the road, the Ski Hill Road, and park up there. It's only after you finish, it's a downhill to Ski Hill Road back to Granite Road. And then it's a 2.5, not even, maybe a 2 kilometer, 1.5 kilometer ride back to your cars at Blewett School. So it's a really easy bike back to your car after the stage is over. And then that's parking. It's a little less challenging than last year. Not as much Forest Service Road parking this year. So just, if you do come and you see somebody directing you to a spot, just follow their lead. We're just, we'll have people out there when we know we're in some challenging spots to get everybody parked. But if you have to park away from the start, we will also have course signage. I had Bell make up some extra signage to put. So you'll see signs. There'll be little signs on posts and on stakes or pin flags and stuff like that, pointing you in the right direction that says to the start and all that. So we'll get you there. When you're doing all this, my main thing is, please, I get it, you're at a race. We all get in this. We get to a race. We just shut our brains off and we just want to race our bikes or whatever. Please understand that roads are still open. So when you're going to a place, your mom taught you this when you were 2 years old, look both ways before you cross, just to make sure. During the race, when we have highway crossings, we'll have course marshals there to get you safely across. So you'll pay attention to them. But when you're riding to the starts and if you have to cross a highway or whatever, please just pay attention. I don't want anybody getting hit or injured before they get to race their bikes. If that doesn't answer, if anybody has a more specific question about a stage or anything like that, just please put it in the comments or in questions here, and we'll answer that one too. Any provisions for bears? I'm guessing, are you asking about bear spray one, or are you just asking if, usually we don't. For this, I saw Jen answered. She said bear spray isn't mandatory. It's not mandatory on any of our stages at ST6. If we something happened and we've had to change the stage, which we had to do in a Trans Rockies event before, you would be updated and we let you know. But there's not really much else we can do with bears. The bears in BC are usually pretty chill. They're the chill neighbors of the Alberta bears, so they're usually out of the way. If you just make lots of noise, you could probably, I'm assuming you're probably a singer, Juan. So you sing your way through the stage and those bears will stay away from you. Jeffrey, what do we say here? What if we have one person doing the full and one doing the half? Is there a shuttle? No, we don't usually have a shuttle. I mean, that's something we can talk about. For the most part, if you're not starting together, the half pinter will start after the full pint. So for instance, day one in Caslow, the full pint, you're going to start downtown at 7 o'clock. The half pint, you're not going to start until 8 o'clock out at your start. So you have an hour to, lots of time to get to drop person off, get to your start for the half pint. So you never put you in a spot. Day two is New Denver. Again, you have a 40-minute gap in between there. So there's not an issue there. Day three, everybody's starting together in Roslyn. Day four, I'm still working out the timing for that. It looks like it's probably going to be about an hour to an hour and 15-minute delay, just trying to figure out how to make that one work yet, but there will be a big enough delay. And the start line is in the same spot for both of you. Day 5 in Selmo, everybody starts in the same spot. Half pints finish at the same spot where they started, and then they could jump in the car and come up to the ski hill and see you finish at the ski hill. And day 6, it's again, it's going to be about, I forget what I got to look at what the gap is for that start on day 6. I think it's about a 40-minute gap for your start time. Well, it's an hour gap, sorry. So again, your start lines for day 6 between the half pint and the full pint, you're 2.5 kilometer distance away from each other. So with an hour delay. So if something does come up, of course, come and talk to us. We're never going to leave you out where you're not going to be able to make your start time or something happens. Again, like I said before, we're all approachable. We'll make something happen. We'll make it work. Like last year we had one rider showed up and it was 2 minutes before the start and the parking lot was on the other side of the highway down. It would have taken him 10, 15 minutes to, park their car and get back. So they just left their keys running, went to the start line, and I asked Belle to run their car over there and park it for them. So we will always do whatever we can to make sure that we're taking care of you. We can't say yes to every single request, but we will do our best to make sure that everybody is taken care of.
Just quickly on that too. Belle, are we doing a rider chat? Yeah, we are. Yeah. We
Yes.
we have a rider chat. I think I just as I said it, I remember you sent that out.
Yeah, it was sent out.
We have a riders chat on WhatsApp. And also there's the forum on Facebook as well. So what happens a lot of time, you guys will find out by day 2 who your like riding buddies are. You guys will learn really quickly who you pace with, who you end up riding next to, like usually by day 2. Last year, specifically on the half pipe, what I noticed was a lot of people became fast friends and were like carpooling together and like having lunch together and dinner together. Mm-hmm. So that's the other option as well, is jumping on that WhatsApp chat or getting on the rider forum and seeing if there's carpool arrangements, if people want to ride together, get a drive together and ride together as well. So yeah, you guys will become fast friends with your other riders around you as well really quick.
Where are we? So that was Jeffrey.
Mike was asking about, Jason was asking about that.
How early before stage should we show up? So we do a call to start at about 20 minutes to start time, because what we normally do is we'll do our course briefing in the start chute. So because everybody, the race starts early in the morning, it's, everybody's done by midday. It's hard to have a gathering every day where everybody's going to come to listen to a racer briefing and all that. So we like to do that in the start chute in the morning. So we like you to be there, 20 minutes before, half an hour before, depending on what you need to do to get ready. So you put into your program, if you need to do whatever, you got to do some stretching, some yoga, some deep breathing, whatever you need to do to get yourself ready for the stage. But we do a call to start at 22, and then we do a racer briefing at about 10:02. Just gets everybody on the chute, get you situated, because it's all self-seated. So depending on what you need to know your own skill level and everything like that, and then you self-seed within that in that start chute for the day, and then you're there in time to listen to the racer briefing as well. So you can, any updates on the course, we'll throw it out there. We usually get updates from our course team if there's anything that's changed. Sometimes if a tree's down or whatever, they had to reroute the course a little bit, anything like that. So they'll always give us updates like that, and that's what's always gets portrayed in the morning. We'll give you kind of a brief little rundown of what you're going to do for the day, and anything that may have changed. So yeah, next one, it's good. Juan's first time to BC. You're gonna love it, buddy. BC is so beautiful, and where we're at, the West Kootenays are a pretty amazing place. Like Jen said, lakes, amazing trails, amazing single track. You're gonna have a fun time.
Ryan, if I may just add, for Juan being first time in BC, and he asked the questions about the bears. I have ridden these trails many times, Juan, over many summers, both in Singletrack 6, but also just personal riding. And it's great habitat for black bears. And in higher alpine regions, there are grizzly bears, of course. But Jen and Ryan answered the question very well. They're not tamed bears. They're not accustomed to getting food from humans, so they just do their business. There's lots of food for them in the areas that we're riding. So as Ryan and Jen both indicated, if you're on your own, you happen to be on your own, it doesn't hurt. If you're pedaling uphill, you can be quiet. If you're going downhill, you make more noise with the rattling of the bike and all that. But if there's blind corners, it doesn't hurt just to give a little hoot, holler. If you happen to be in thicker bush, and there are places like that, so it doesn't hurt just to give a shout out just in advance if you're feeling a bit nervous.
Yeah, that's a good point, Peter. We do it all the time. We do it all the time here. I live in Canmore, and I have lots of grizzlies and stuff here that we deal with. So when I'm out running or biking, you're constantly hooting, especially if you go out alone, so it doesn't hurt, even though you're in a race. It doesn't change anything. Just give just a quick loud hoot or holler or whatever you need to do. Because once they hear that, they move on. They don't want anything to do with you. So there's nothing to be nervous about. If they hear you coming, they will move off and get out of your way, because they don't want to interact with you as much as you don't want to interact with them. So a good little hoot or holler, if you're in a spot where you find yourself alone and you're feeling a little insecure, just give that quick little hoot, and hopefully they'll just move along.
And yeah. Ryan and Jen, I just wanted to add, I know you've mentioned it already, but just for the folks who don't know, the beauty about the West Kootenays, the 4 stages for sure. You're blessed with water that you can go and have a dip in, a swim in. It might be, it's lakes nearby. Even in Rossland, if you want to find a lake, you're just 30 kilometers away to Nancy Green Lake, the closest lake that you can go to, or you go down the trail just 10 kilometers down the hill, and people go to Gyro Park just across the bridge, and there's an extraordinary beach there. For like, if it's a hot day and you want to go into the Columbia River, that's the swimming spot with an amazing beach. So there's Selmo River as well for cooling off, because we could very well be in heat.
Yeah, good point. And Caslow and New Denver, Caslow finishes right beside Kootenay Lake, and New Denver is right beside Slocan Lake. Two very nice lakes, and very, very cold. So you'll be in and out of Slocan Lake pretty quickly, even if it's 37 degrees out. But yeah, good point. There's always spots, and in Nelson, there is a spot in Nelson by the bridge, right by the river, where you can jump in the river there too. So there's options around. It might not always be right beside the end of the race, but there's options around in the Kootenays for sure. Mike asks, what's the bike type is most common? The most common bike for this race is going to be a cross country bike. We try to, and Bell and Peter can probably answer this better than I can. I'm not a bike tech guy, but a cross country bike is definitely the most used bike. An enduro bike with the climbing in the West Kootenays, you don't want to have a heavier bike like an enduro bike or something like that. So your all mountain cross country bike is going to be your best bet. And stuff like this. Most of the stuff, you'll be able to roll over most of it. I'm not going to say I don't know everybody's biking skill level here, but I can promise you, if you're like me and you're in the middle of the back of the packer, there's going to be sections where you're just going to get off your bike and walk it because you don't feel comfortable. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that everything is going to be rideable. But your best bet is going to be your cross country bike, just for the amount of climbing that you have to do in the West Kootenays, unless Ryan or Peter have a different view.
No, I'd probably recommend something similar to it. Maybe a slightly longer travel XC bike if you do have it. 130, 140 would definitely probably cover everything. I'm thinking anything bigger than that's kind of on the bigger end of the bike to be climbing with. I'd definitely stick kind of more that so-called down country, if you will. But that'd be my recommendation. Peter, obviously you've done these a ton as well, so you know.
Totally, Ryan. No, I agree with both comments there, Ryan and Ryan. It's excellent, cross country / trail bike. As Ryan Bell said, 140, 130, and some people will have less for sure. 130, 120 typically is what I have. But yeah, cross country / trail bike for any of these trails. And as Ryan said, you might, there's no shame in getting off your bike, because you'd rather not have a mechanical or an injury that sidelines you. So I've done that in locations. If I'm not familiar with the trail, especially, I've jumped off. There was one gnarly rocky descent. When we were down in Blairmore, I think on one of those routes there, that surprised me. I came into it suddenly, and so I got off my bike and walked down just for safety.
Yep. Yeah. Like they said, everything, we do our best to offer a course that's fun for everybody, but that fun for everybody, we all have different levels of fun and riding ability. So, there's no shame in having to get off and hike a bike or sprint your bike through a little downhill section just to get you safely through there. I'd rather see you cross the finish line with a smile on your face than having our medical team to have to come out and have a look at you and make sure that you're all right. So yeah, I think Jen answered that. The question from Glenn was, is the banquet outside? Are dogs allowed?
Yeah.
So our banquet is inside. So obviously dogs will not be allowed to come into the banquet. They do have a patio, and it's on the lake. So, your dogs, you could bring your dogs close, but they obviously won't be allowed to come into the banquet room with us for the event. Sorry about that. I have 2 dogs myself, and I would love to be able to bring them, but nobody wants to eat all the dog fur that I have to eat on a daily basis because they're huskies. Simon, how do we get into the WhatsApp group? I believe Bell, did you send that out in
Yeah, I was actually just replying to Simon's message, but since we're on it, there was a link sent out in the last newsletter. That was a newsletter with the info for this. But what I will do is I'll upload it to the Facebook chat. I will also attach it in the newsletter going out with the link to this for anybody who misses it. And Simon, just because I'm nice to you, I will send you a personal message with it as well. And actually, if I can track it down, I'll maybe put it in the chat here as well.
Perfect. So Juan's friend Brad is asking about time limit and finish each and time limit for each stage. So we will have time limits and cutoff times at aid stations and a course close time. Trans Rockies, generally we're pretty lenient with it. We try not to be, we're not going to put it, it's a very strict cutoff time where it's like you got to be hammering it as hard as you can for the whole time just to get through each section. We try and be as lenient as possible with that, but in that same breath, I can't give you all day. We're starting at 7. I can't give you until 5 o'clock in the afternoon to finish the stage, just from a safety perspective for not only yourself but also for my volunteers and stuff who have to be out there every day too, just to help make sure that we get this race off. And everybody gets properly taken care of. So those times and everything, we will post those soon. Now that we've had the final touches and updates, just with the way that the spring has went in the West Kootenays, and we'll get all those posted, and we'll get those posted with the cutoff times and the course close times for everybody, so you can have an understanding of what it is. And like I said, we're usually pretty lenient, and we're not 100% strict. Like it's, cutoff times at 1 p.m. and you got there at 1:03. We're not never going to say you can't continue. If you got there at 1:42, I'd probably have to, look at maybe cutting you off at that point, because it's just falling too far behind, just from a safety perspective. Glenn, my wife and I can bring our food out there then. I'm not sure what that's.
Because you were talking about the
out
patio.
on the patio or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can check in with the hotel and just. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that it's probably fine that you could go sit out on the patio with your food and have your dogs out on the patio. I don't see a reason why that would be an issue. They've been good like that in the past, so we just have to double check and we can let you know. But I'm pretty sure that was probably fine. And you can see, if you can't see it, Ryan, Mr. Bell just posted the WhatsApp chat link in the chat here. So if you click on that, then you can. I saw Simon's already joined it. So yeah. So if you haven't joined that yet, it's a good resource. You can throw questions out there just about little things here and there. Get a group chat going with some people, and just dinner plans, all that kind of stuff with other people in the race.
And again, sorry, just pipe in real quick. I know Dia and Jen have said it as well, but we'll be active on it through the week too. And if there's updates or anything that Dia might have or Jen might have, or any of us, we'll put them on there too. So definitely, join up on that and stay in touch.
Don't we? Do we post my nightly video on there?
We have in the past. We've done it on our socials, the Rider Chat, and the Facebook group. So we'll get it out there as much as possible as soon as we can. So definitely, this one will probably again be the easiest.
I'd say, yeah. I say we put it on multiple ones, but all 3 you just mentioned are owned by Meta, so we put it on Meta.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're closing in on an hour here, so I don't know if there's any other questions. You can unmute yourself and ask a question, or you can throw it in the chat. Either or. If there's nothing else, I just want to say thanks for coming to this chat. I know it was kind of Jen and Ryan brought it up last week, and we thought it'd be a good idea. I know it was kind of last minute, but I'm glad that you all came out and joined, so we get some of this information out. And we'll post this out there in the group as well. So if you haven't joined the Facebook group, you go to Trans Rockies Bike. It's a group chat kind of thing where you can ask any kind of questions. You can talk about anything. We're just trying to create the community and keep everybody connected that's been at our races before, and keep everybody talking, make some friends. And you never know when you're going to be in a spot where somebody you've raced with at one of our events, and they'll take you out and show you around. So yeah, thanks for coming, and we can't wait to see you in the West Kootenays in a few weeks.
Thanks,
and also,
Ryan.
thank you,
Thanks,
Peter.
Jen.
Yeah, thank you. Peter is a great resource for you guys. If you know, see him at the event, just go bug him. I'm sure Peter would love it.
Sure. You bet. I know a lot about the Kootenays there,
You
that West
do.
Kootenays. And so if any of you have any questions, best places to get coffee, best places, I'm a coffee junkie, best brew house, brew bar in town. Trail has a great one. Rossland Beer Company has a great one. Nelson has many. Caslow has its own. So all of these places have their great beer spots and coffee spots. I can tell you to go to breakfast spots, dinner spots, all of the above. So don't hesitate to ask me. Not when I'm riding though, because I need to conserve my energy.
These are like, this is the most important information, Peter. Those are the things that everybody wants, not riding info. And also too, just real quick, Ryan Bell had mentioned as well, and Dia had mentioned, we're going to be sending, you guys will be getting emails. Sometimes they end up in junk. I don't know why. Sometimes the emails that Ryan Bell sends me ends up in junk. So check it out for that. We are going to be sending you guys emails over the next few weeks with, you know, the itinerary, or if there's course changes or links to the course details and all that stuff. So yeah, keep an eye on that as well.
Beauty. Thanks again, you guys, for great information and sharing the excitement for a few weeks down the road here. So that's awesome. It's getting us all excited about this.
Yeah.
Yes, we're stoked for it. So everybody keep the training going, and we'll see you in the West Kootenays in a few weeks. Be ready for some fun and some heat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, bye,
Bye,
guys.
everybody.
Bye now.
Okay, everybody.